This is how we do it.
You're listening to the Nasser Kyobe Show.
Nasser played not just high-level high school football. He was a logger at UPS.
Over the middle it goes, and the pass was complete, and he gets absolutely belted at the 40-yard line. The sideline erupts as Nasser Kyobe just exploded the wide receiver.
Did Nasser say things like, I'm sending you to outer space?
And as he got his momentum going, was chopped down. Nice tackle there from Nasser Kyobe.
Go Hawks.
How's it going, everybody? You're listening to another edition of the Nasser Kyobe Show. Reminder, you can catch all my podcasts on YouTube under Nasser Kyobe. Well, it's been a busy offseason already, Seahawks fans. We can no longer bask in the glory of a Super Bowl title. I mean, we can and will. I still am. But unfortunately, we have gotten to that point of the business side of things, and a lot of our valued favorite Seahawks are no longer on the squad. It's been a sad couple of weeks here as, I mean, the list is getting pretty long of guys that have walked away from the team. 8 guys have signed with different squads. Cornerback Walter Thurman signed a 1-year, $3.5 million deal with the Giants. Golden Tate signed a 5-year deal, $30 million with Detroit. Breno Giacomini signed with the Jets. Clinton McDonald signed with Tampa Bay. Linebacker O'Brien Schofield signed with the Giants, but that might be nixed due to health concerns. Backup free safety and special teams guy Chris Marigo signed with the Eagles. And Brandon Browner signed a 3-year deal worth $17 million with New England. So yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of guys that aren't on the squad anymore, and some starters and some really valued pieces that we're gonna miss. But before I even get going on this topic, Seahawks fans, relax. We are still the best team in football, okay? Trust in Pete and John, and you're gonna hear me say that about 10 times because they haven't steered us wrong. They know what they're doing. They're budgeting, getting ready for the big signings we're gonna have to do when we have to pay Sherman and Wilson, Earl Thomas, etc. Okay? But not everyone left, okay? We did do some good things, and we did bring back this guy right here.
Right now, the Seahawks have their pass rushing group in on 3rd and 5. Shotgun snap to Breeze, steps up in the pocket, looks, he's hit the ball, comes out, and picked off by the Seahawks, coming near side 20, 15, Michael Bennett 5, touchdown, Seahawks! Ball was slapped away from Drew Brees as he was getting set to throw right into the hands of Bennett, and it was good night, Irene.
Boom, you heard it there. And that was Michael Bennett, strip sack against New Orleans. I mean, the guy can play, and it was absolutely huge that we were signing him to a 4-year, $28.5 million deal. You know, a lot of us Seahawks fans got upset when he talked about this isn't Costco, there's no hometown discounts, all that stuff. But he ended up taking a small discount, and we brought him back, and huge for the team, huge. The guy made plays on plays on plays. I mean, always around the football, getting sacks. He was a huge part of this team. He's a vocal leader, and it was huge that we brought him back. The Seahawks also signed Anthony McCoy to a 1-year, $1.3 million deal. He didn't play a ton because of injury, but he's back, and I think he can help our tight end core with Luke Wilson. And, of course, another big deal, Zach Miller. Huge bringing him back. We'll get into all those as I keep going on here. We signed Tony McDaniel back to a 2-year, $6.3 million deal. We were signed backup quarterback Tavares Jackson to another 1-year, $1.25 million deal. And, of course, we brought back kicker Steven Hauska for 3 years, $9.15 million. So we did sign some guys that we needed to come back. I mean, we all laugh because it's a kicker, but Hauska's money. Dude missed 2 kicks last year, and one of them was blocked. Huge thing. We don't have to worry about it. He's inside 45. It's automatic. It's as good as an extra point. Okay. Tavares Jackson coming back is also huge. I mean, he is about the best backup quarterback you're going to find. Okay. He's well respected in that locker room, played a whole season with a torn pec. I mean, the guys love him. If God forbid anything, knock on wood, happens to Russell Wilson, that guy can step in there and the Seahawks aren't going to fall off a cliff. It's not going to be when Peyton Manning got hurt in Indianapolis and you had Curtis Painter and some other jackoff who was awful. So it's huge that we have Tavares back. But yeah, like I said, we lost some guys and it's going to hurt. You know, just starting from the D-line, this was self-imposed. We released Chris Clemens. We released Red Bryant, both of whom have signed with the Seattle Seahawks AAA affiliate, the Jacksonville Jaguars. No, Gus Bradley. I'm happy for those guys. Gus Bradley, the old Seahawks defensive coordinator. He knows those guys well. He's going to bring them over there, and I root for them over there. I don't wish anything bad against them, and I hope not against us, but I hope they do well. But like I said, we're going to miss some guys. Like I said, let me reminisce on Chris Clemens. This was early this year against San Francisco.
3rd and 11 now for Kaepernick from his own 46-yard line, out of the shotgun, takes the snap, 3-man rush. Kaepernick's going to get hit, and Clemens is going to throw him down at the 35-yard line. That is the second sack of the day for the Seahawks, and Chris Clemens gets it.
Yeah, I'm going to miss that guy. I can't just brush over. The guy was a mainstay in this defense. He had over 10 sacks 3 straight years. He played hurt this year. He came off and torn ACL, and he had in that playoff game in Washington. But the guy played his butt off. I mean, he constantly got pressure on the quarterback, and it's sad to see him go. But he is getting older, and it's something we had to do. He was going to be a huge hit against our cap. And like I said, trust in Pete and John. They know what they're doing. Probably the biggest transaction that's going to hurt us the most is Golden Tate. I mean, Golden Tate, he was kind of a knucklehead when he first got on the team, but the guy can play. He made a ton of plays for us this year, and the list goes on, and he's probably remembered mostly for this, but I can't gloss over it. I got to play this.
Wilson takes the snap, 3-man rush, looking, scrambling. Now he's going to roll. Now he's going to stop and set. Back at the 40, lets it fly to the end zone. Going to give his guys a chance. Going up, coming down. Does he come down with it? Does Golden Tate have it? He's in the end zone. He has! Oh my God, he's got it! Touchdown, Seahawks! Golden Tate comes down with the ball in the corner of the end zone with no time left on the clock. How did he do it?
That's probably what he's most known for across the league. But, I mean, that was an awesome play, and he had more than that, just like this year against Atlanta.
3rd and 5 from the 6. Here comes the blitz. Alley-oop pass to the corner. Golden Tate, he makes the catch. Did he stay in bounds? He did. Touchdown, Seahawks. Golden Tate in the back corner of the end zone. An absolutely perfect throw from Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, Golden Tate, watching that documentary about the Seahawks, man, the Super Bowl run, he made so many crucial plays for us this season. The guy, he might not be your prototypical number 1 wide receiver. He's not Calvin Johnson or anything like that, but the guy made plays. When he was asked upon, the dude made plays. Doesn't drop balls. Missed, I think, 2 games in his career as a starter here. In the 2 years he was a starting wide receiver, he missed 2 games, including the playoffs. So the guy was durable. He made plays. We remember the taunting play against St. Louis when he's waving in the end zone. I mean, the guy just, I loved having him here. He made a lot of plays, and it's going to be sad to see him go. And there's definitely a gap in our receiving core that's something that we need to address. Okay. And then another one of our Seahawks that's gone and no longer with us was Brandon Browner. I mean, he didn't play for most of the year because of his drug suspension, but he was a key part in the Legion of Boom for a while, and I think he's another guy that's going to be missed. So let's hear from him in Arizona.
3rd down and 6, empty backfield from his own 46. Palmer takes the snap, looks left, fires. Ball is picked off. It's Browner. He's going down the far side. 40, 30, 20, 15, 10 stumbles. Roll into the end zone, buddy. He did. Does he get in? Does he get in?
No.
They're going to say he's down at the 5-yard line. Pressure from Bruce Irvin throws the ball to Brandon Browner, who almost scores on the pick, the second interception of the night.
Yeah, Browner was awesome too. I mean, I'm going to miss him a little bit. We all knew that he wasn't coming back. It was done. Once he got that big time suspension, we knew it was over. Maxwell stepped in, played his butt off. Also we had Thurman in there for a while, but you knew he was going to be gone. He did some good things for the Hawks, and it just kind of shows you the worth in the brand of these Seahawks and what that Seahawk attached to your name means. I mean, after he's old, he's not a young guy, okay? And yet he still gets a 3-year, $17 million with New England, okay? So it just goes to show that what we created in that secondary, the Legion of Boom, tall, aggressive, long corners, spread out towards the league, and he's someone that hopefully he continues to do well, and I think if he had been on any other team, his stock wouldn't be as high. But that just goes to show you how hot commodities are that these Seahawks are right now. It's unbelievable. But And lastly, we had one other guy that departed. Like I mentioned earlier, Walter Thurman, who signed a 1-year, $3.5 million with the Giants. And here's him week 6 against Minnesota. Week 11.
Ponder takes the snap, looks left, throws. Ball is intercepted, and there goes Thurman. Down to the 10, down to the 5. He is in. Touchdown, Seahawks. A 29-yard interception return for a touchdown, and the Seahawks blow the lid off of it as Christian Ponder was just looking to try to complete anything to a wide receiver.
And there was Thurman. I mean, the guy made a lot of plays too. He was our nickel guy for the most part. He 3 different times in his career was a starter for us, but he got hurt, and then he got that suspension. And then, like I said earlier, Maxwell stepped in and just did a bang-up job. But he's another guy gone, and Seahawks fans are starting to worry a little bit. They're starting to worry. That's 8 guys who left, and of those 8 guys, Walter Thurman, Golden Tate, Brandon Giacomini, Clinton McDonald, and Brandon Browner, Chris Clemens, Red Bryant, Sidney Rice, all these guys played significant minutes for these guys. They were big-time players for the Hawks, and I guess it is a slightly cause for concern, but like I said, trust in Pete and John. They know what they're doing, okay? We have some things we're going to need to address, but of those guys, none of those guys makes us significantly worse. We didn't lose Russell. We didn't lose Sherm. We didn't lose Earl Thomas. We didn't lose Cam Chancellor. We didn't lose Marshawn Lynch. We didn't lose Russell Okung. We didn't lose Max Unger. We didn't lose Bobby Wagner. We didn't lose Jermaine Kearse. The list goes on and on and on. So all you Seahawks out there that are freaking out, stop it. Just stop, okay? Relax, pull the e-brake a little bit, back up. We're going to be fine. Pete and John, it's always the next man up, okay? They will find guys, they'll plug them in, and they'll do just fine. And if they don't, they'll get cut, and their butt will be out of here. They know what they're doing, okay? We knew, and then here's the thing. Knowing this from playing football and just watching it, when the season's over, you know that team will never be the same again. That's just a fact of the game. In high school, in college, in the pros, after that last game is played, that group of guys will never be back, all 53 again. And that's just the nature of the game. And that's something we have to accept as Hawks fans, that's going to happen. We had to know that we were going to see guys that we enjoyed play over the last couple of years that were going to leave. They were going to leave, and that's something we needed to come to terms with, okay? But we've done great things. Like I said, Michael Bennett, that was huge, okay? Locking in Tavares Jackson, that was huge. Steven Hauska, okay? Zach Miller restructuring his deal and taking a huge pay cut, which is tremendous, and I'm all for it. He doesn't always show up in the box score, but the guy is an amazing blocker, catches the ball when he's called upon, and he does his job. Okay, I think he's a huge deal in our run game, and it's great that we brought him back. So that's another big deal. So, they're not done either. They're still working out the cogs. They're signing people. They're releasing them. Again, trust in Pete and John. They've made some good moves. Not all of them have been great. It's sad to see some guys go, but they know what they're doing, and I'm standing by them 110%. Like I said, those are things I liked. I liked Bennett and Miller. We still are looking into Finley from the Packers, which I'm not super high on. I think the guy drops balls. He had that big neck injury last year, and he's a whiner in the locker room. Team was on a 7 or 8 game win streak, and the guy's crying about not catching balls. So I think he's a talented guy. I don't think we need him. I'm not super high up on it. But that's why it makes me feel even better about it if we do sign him that we have Zach Miller. It wasn't either or, which is great for me. And we'll have and if we do bring him in, we're going to have a strong tight end group. Okay. Between Miller and then Finley and then Luke Wilson, now McCoy's coming back. That room looks good. That room looks good. Now, as far as what we're going to need to address, we got some holes, and we're going to continue to reestablish that. We got holes in our secondary. Now, as far as depth goes, obviously Sherman, Chancellor, Earl Thomas, Maxwell, those guys are the best in the league, bar none, hands down. We just don't have the depth that we once had when if someone goes down, you can plug in a Walter Thurman. You can plug in a Byron Maxwell. You can plug in a Jeremy Lane. Jeremy Lane is still on the squad, but I think we need to address some depth in the secondary. Offensive line, Breno, we lost him. He did some good things. He used to frustrate me a lot early in his career with all those damn penalties, but he kind of figured it out, and he was good for us. He was a good tackle. He did well. I don't think he's irreplaceable. I think he's very replaceable. But that's another starter, and we need depth on the offensive line also. I think that's another thing we need to address in the draft and as free agency continues. Our defensive line. That's a big deal that I think we need to address. It might be one of our most pressing needs. We got Bennett back, which is great. Okay, we lose a starter in Chris Clemens. We lose Red Bryant. We lose Tony McDaniel. So we need to beef up that part of our team. I think I love that we're pursuing Jared Allen, and I think Bennett and Jared Allen on the same line. Things could get crazy, and I'm all for that. I really hope that we can get that done, but those are the top 3 positions, I think, position groups that we need to address this offseason. It's the defensive line, it's our offensive line, our secondary, and of course our receiving core. Okay, we released Sidney Rice, Golden Tate signed with the Lions, so we're gonna have to fill the void. That's a starter that's gone, 2 technically starters that we've lost off this team. Okay, we haven't signed Baldwin to a long-term contract yet, but we know we have Percy Harvin locked up. We know we still got Jermaine Kearse. So that's another thing that needs to be addressed for us to continue to go where we want to go and stay on top. But I guess my main point here is, guys, Seahawks fans, relax, okay? We lost some guys that we enjoyed watching play for the last couple of years. It's very true, okay? We do, like I said, need to address certain position groups to stay where we're at. But it's not the end of the world. The sky's not falling. We are still the best team in football with a couple holes. Yes, we're not as good as we were when we beat Denver because we don't have guys plugged in those positions yet. But it's a long off season. We're going to figure it out. So relax. But this also kind of brings up another story that I kind of want to get into. And today on the Bob and Gross show on 710 ESPN Seattle, Golden Tate was on. Now, Golden Tate has been receiving a lot of hateful messages, it seems like, on Twitter and, all the social medias about his decision to leave. Now, how I feel about that and how he feels about that might differ a little bit, but here's him on Bob and Gross talking about how he was going to give a discount, but not an enormous discount.
I even came out and said, hey, I'll give you guys a discount. Now, I think people took that discount to like a 40% off discount. And let's be real, people. I don't care who you are. If you have an opportunity to earn way more money in another state or another business, I 100% think every last person will leave in a quick second.
Yeah, and I think that's a fact of life. I can't get mad at the guy for taking more money. I really can't. I understand you want to be loyal to your hometown team. He worked his butt off for 4 years here. I can't be upset with him for going somewhere where he's going to get way more money. But here's kind of what I want to dive into. Here's him being disappointed in the 12th man.
I think the world of the 12s, and I always will. But there's a large group of 12s who quickly, very, very quickly turned on me and I guess the organization, or me more so than anything. And it's kind of bothered me because I honestly felt like I did give everything I possibly could to the city of Seattle.
And he wasn't done, Twitter followers.
I'm just appalled with the attitudes that I've received on Twitter from the people who I thought were Golden Tate fans and really thought highly of the Seahawks. But people are starting to show their true colors. That's something I just really don't appreciate because I gave everything to Seattle that I possibly could. I'm leaving Seattle with my head up high, proud of all the accomplishments that I've helped that team with and been a part of, but I feel like people are just kind of downplaying it and using it against me.
Here's the thing, Golden Tate. There is a small group of fans, and probably small is probably not the right word. There's a large group of fans that probably are saying some unspeakable things on Twitter behind their keyboard because they can feel like they can say whatever the hell they want because they're not actually saying it to his face. Which is true, and I think some of those fans are idiots because you're going to tell me that in your walk of life that you're going to take less money to stay somewhere. You might like where you're at, but if you can earn a ton much more money for your family and well off and get that one contract that you're probably one big contract that you're only ever going to get, because it's a fact. Most NFL players, if they get a contract, they get one big contract and that's it. life expectancy of an NFL guy is short. It is short. So I can't get mad at him for going to pursue something else to get more money. But here's the thing, Golden, and I don't know if we differ in opinion, but this is how I feel. You had to know that's what's coming, okay? This is the most passionate fan base in sports, okay? The 12th man. I just don't know why he's surprised. I really don't know why he's surprised, and that's because if anyone leaves any city, you're gonna get a lot of flack. People are gonna say, "Oh, he's a greedy, money-hungry guy," blah blah blah, because they root for the Seahawks, not necessarily just Golden Tate. So they're gonna be upset, and I just think he should expect that. And if he doesn't like it, he should probably not look at his mentions so often. And I understand being hurt because you bust your ass for a team for 4 years and do everything that you can for that team and for that fan base and did everything right. He wasn't getting in trouble all the time, exception of the donut incident. But no, so I can see why he's a little hurt about it, but he shouldn't be surprised. This is just how fans are. It's in the definition, fanatics, okay? This is how fans are. They're going to be irrational. They're going to be crazy. A lot of times in a good way. In this case, it's in a bad way. But here's him talking about the offer the Seahawks made and how it was just pretty much downright laughable.
Yeah, offered a number that was laughable. It was laughable considering that I was there 4 years, a starter 2 of those years, I missed a total of I missed one game in my 2 years, including the playoffs. Like I said, in the community, did everything right, was not a troublemaker. Everyone loved me in the locker room. I did everything right. And the offer that they offered was like, is this serious?
Dude was going to make more money in Detroit.
I was going to earn in 1 year what I was going to earn in 2 years there. I'm earning in 1 year what I'm going to earn in 2 years in Seattle. So it's in my eyes, it was a no-brainer. Like it was like before my agents could finish the offer, it's like, oh, I'm going to Detroit.
So yeah, there's that. Again, even with all the things he just said on the show on Bob and Gross today, I'm not mad at the guy. He did what was best for him. He got his big contract and wish him the best of luck. I'm happy for all the stuff he did here. I'm thankful for him working hard and making all the plays he did in a Seahawks uniform. But, he decided to take his ball and go play somewhere else, and that's fine. I'm not going to kill him on Twitter. I'm not going to say all this stuff about him. He needs to expect that from the fans. And I guess the Seahawks just didn't value him as much as he thought he should have been. We weren't going to pay him what Detroit was going to pay him because we value other players and other things more than we did Golden Tate. And that's just, it sucks, but that's the business side of sports. It's a business side of sports. So he's moving on, and I'm not going to kill him for it, but it is what it is, Some people are going to get really upset hearing that comments about, how the Seahawks offer was laughable and he's not loyal, he's not this and that. Relax, okay? The guy got more money. I'm not going to be mad at him for it. Thanks for everything you did in Seattle. Have fun in Detroit. I mean, that's another thing. You got to live there for 6 months, which probably not the funnest thing. But if you want to take any laughter out of this for the people who love Golden Tate and are sad to see him go, just imagine this at least. He's going to play Green Bay twice a year, okay? Twice a year. So, yikes. I mean, if he was sick of hearing about that damn Fail Mary or whatever he was, he's going to be sick of hearing about it now. Because when he goes down to Green Bay every year, that is going to be a brutal environment for him. So I guess it goes both ways. I think it's funny. It's funny if you like him, and it's funny if you hate him. But that's that, and good luck, Golden Tate. Going to miss you out here, but it is what it is, and that's a business side of football. And like I said, I told you at the beginning, I'm going to say it a lot, and I'm going to keep saying it. Trust in John and Pete. They know what the hell they're doing. Okay, we saw some guys that we love move on, and that sucks. But we're gonna keep plucking guys in there, and this train isn't stopping. Okay, from the second the clock ticked down at the end of the Super Bowl, Pete and John were already thinking about next year, already thinking about the moves they got to make. So, they would have to do some crazy stuff for me to really be against what they're doing because they know what they're doing. They got us here. They built this thing. The train's gonna keep going, whether or not Golden Tate or Walter Thurman or Randall Giacomini's on the bus, okay? We're going to keep it rolling, and what they built here is special, and it's not going to end anytime soon. So, Seahawks fans, relax. It's okay. We're going to keep it moving. So, I just had to get that off my chest. But that brings up the best time of the year for me. It is March, and the tournament is on the horizon. You know, the first round games start up tonight, and then the whole thing really kicks off on Thursday. And this is, honestly, to me, this is probably the best time of the year. I mean, it is the best tournament out there. It is, bar none. Okay, obviously, I love the NFL playoffs. I love, defense of football and all that good stuff, and it's great. But as far as 168 team tournament, really 64, but I mean, it is the best thing out there where it's the only time where you can really have a small school from, I don't know, in the middle of nowhere in northern Illinois or something like that upset a big time school like Duke. Those things, this is the only tournament that can happen. Okay, and that's what I love. I love sitting on my couch if it permits, if I'm not working, and watching games all day long. I love 12 seeds beating 5s, 15 seeds beating 2s. It's the best time of the year, and it sucks that my beloved Huskies haven't been in it for a while, but it's the best time of the year, and the hairs on the back of my neck stand up when I hear things like this.
Shot clock turned off. Game clock at 8. He's got to do it himself. Thomas, shake, crossover, step back. At the buzzer, Young, safe, and Washington wins it on a last-second J.
Cold-blooded. Oh, I love Gus Johnson. And yes, I know that wasn't in the tournament, and that was beating Arizona in the Pac-12 championship. But it's just that it's tournament time. It's that time of year, man. It's the best thing ever. It's the only sport, the only tournament where you can see. God, I'm blanking on the name of the team. A team lose 20 games, but somehow win their conference tournament and end up in the dance with a chance to shock the world. I mean, the emotion and it's the best thing out there. I mean, I love seeing upsets. It's just like things like this, like Davidson, Steph Curry, love it.
Wallace, shot up, Sapp. No, love that. And talk about David and Goliath. I submit to you, Davidson College to the Sweet 16.
Like, you can't get that anywhere else. And watching that run and then the whole country getting behind them, you're not going to find that anywhere else. And that's why I love college basketball, and that's why I love that kind of stuff, man. Or like George Mason.
Rebound, UConn. Denham Brown, 3 to go. Denham Brown for 3. No good! By George, the dream is alive.
You can't beat that. That stuff, you can't script any of it. I mean, it's one of those things where you can, and I used to be a big guy looking at the brackets. Obviously, I fill one out every year, but I would look at RPI, strength of schedule, BPI, who they played, some of their players, who averages the most points, kind of their height, their weight, all that kind of stuff. And I would just love diving into that if I had time, especially back in college on like spring break before I had a real job. But, I mean, just doing all that stuff, I would love it. And then you'd be watching that first Thursday morning, and you would be in the second game, and your whole bracket was screwed because, Davidson just beat your 2-seed Georgetown, who you had in the Final Four, or something like that. And after you give up on your bracket and you realize, yeah, again, dummy, it's not going to be your year. There's never a perfect bracket, even though after pulling that hard work, you think it's going to be your year, and you think it's going to be perfect, but it's not. But that's just the joy of the tournament, that millions of people are going to fill out all these brackets, and some girl who knows nothing about sports, who likes the colors of certain teams, is going to end up having a better bracket than you. Genius. And that's just how it is. And that's why I love the emotion, and I love the NCAA tournament. I would love it more if things like this were happening when this was back in 2004 when UW found out that they were going to be a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Just that excitement. I mean, earlier it was kind of tough audio to hear, but Duke's getting announced as a 1 seed. Everyone kind of boos. And then when you see Washington pop up on that screen, now it's just a great moment. And I miss those days of Husky basketball when we were in tournaments competing for top seeds and trying to get past the Sweet 16. I mean, I have some fond memories and some really hurtful ones watching the Huskies in the tournament, but that I can't wait till they get back there. But even with them not there, this is one of the best sporting events that's out there, and I hope they don't mess with it anymore. Adding the playing the first four thing, I was really against it because if it's not broke, don't mess with it. But because of that, VCU gets to the Final Four, and if that didn't happen, they probably don't make the tournament. And so I think I want it to stay how it is. Don't add more tournaments. And all the people who get snubbed and feel like they got screwed over, win more games, period. It's that simple. Win more games. You only have you to blame. That's it. Win more games. Don't cry about not getting the tournament. You had a whole season to prove how to get in. But I don't want them to change it anymore. This is the best sporting event that's out there, and I love watching it. And you bet your butt on Thursday I'm going to be getting in cozy, watching the NCAA tournament all day long. There's Pac, so show's coming to an end. Kind of been all over the place today talking free agency and then March Madness, but it's been a fun show. And just some final thoughts. Seahawks fans, relax. We're still the best team in football. We did have to say goodbye to some people we enjoyed watching play over the years. But trust in Pete and John. I'll say it again. Trust in Pete and John. They know what they're doing. They're going to keep this train rolling. And I can't wait for next season. Is it training camp yet? But in the meantime, to keep me busy, we got March Madness coming up this Thursday. It's going to be amazing. I cannot wait to watch the best sporting event that exists. Nothing's better than March Madness. We get it for most of a whole month. The first weekend's the best. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is the best time. And watching, the Cinderella stories, it's going to be great. And I honestly can't wait. But I just want to thank you guys for listening and tuning in. Reminder, you can catch all my podcasts on YouTube under the Nasser Kyobe Show. Thanks for listening. Till next time, guys.